couple young kids just out of high school, and they are excited, and so, man, I can't keep up with them putting the flyers. They're going to tape them on the doors, and so I appreciate everybody coming here today, and anything you can do to help us, Big Phil. I mean, but the biggest thing I need is volunteers. I tell people all the time, I don't really want money or need money from you. I mean, I could use money, but that's not what I'm saying. You know, I tell people all the time, if you get 10 yard signs or get 10 people to vote for me, you just give me $100. You know, so when I ran for governor, you know, they made a kind of a, you know, I didn't win, but at the same time, 56% of eligible voters didn't vote. But they had $14.7 million to spend. They spent over $14 per vote, and I spent less than 67 cents per vote. So, you know, first time in politics, not being a political party. Even this is kind of sad because I heard from the Democrats yesterday. They're trying to get the Democratic committee to actually support the Republican who is Corbett, you know. And Corbett's so flip-floppy that he can't decide if he's Republican or Democrat. So, registered Republican, but he tells people he's a Democrat. So, anyway, I love you being here today. And any ideas that you guys can have, man, I need them. I want them. Frank, call me anytime, and you know, and just help out. You know, this is, like I said, this is a grassroots thing, and we're going to try to get as many yard signs up. And the big sign has been quite effective, and I truly have had a lot of people thumbs up, honking, and I went to spoke Thursday night, and everybody's going ABC to me, ABC to me, ABC to me. I'm going, oh yeah, well, yeah, okay.
Anyone's like Corbett.
Are you mocking because I just have a little college, you know, and I didn't finish or something? I don't know what they're doing, but it was funny. But then I found out, what was it?
Anyone but Corbett.
Anybody but Corbett. So I think we're going to order some signs with that on it and get 100 of those around. Because one of the things that I work with a guy that's from Canada, and you know, like he said, Greg, you got to stop him. You know, once they get a new tax, it'll never go away, and they'll always have another reason for good tax. I thought it was interesting. I was at the Bacon Fest down here, and I guess Ron sung. I don't know why, but he sang. It didn't get a lot of applause, but I shook a lot of hands, and I only found one guy that was in favor of the 1% sales tax. He goes, Greg, we need it. You know, that money's going to go to the flood victims. I go, oh, wait a minute. I thought it was going to go to the streets, you know. And he goes, no, it's supposed to go to the flood. I go, well, that's what it was originally supposed to go to, the flood victims. And it never did. I mean, it got a little bit of it. Yes.
I talked to the mayor one time not too long ago, and I asked him, I was concerned about some of these big projects. And the mayor said to me, he says, well, I don't know why you're worried about all this money we're spending, Frank. He says, it's all federal money, you know. So where do you stand on that? I mean, do you think that federal money is it's free money or what?
No, listen, you call it county, you call it city, you call it state, you call it federal, all comes out of that pocket. That's how I feel about it.
I just want to make sure you're on the same page as I am.
Oh, are we on the same page?
We're on the same page.
Because, yeah, and I hear that too, because I make a big deal of the federal courthouse, you know. I mean, what a month. You know, that wasn't meant for a courthouse. That's for meant whenever they decide to take us under siege. You ever seen that? They got these, I mean, it's made for an attack on that building, not just somebody going in as a nut. But you got $250 million into a building that's got 4 courtrooms. What's that tell you? You know, and I always tell people, oh, it's federal money. Still your money.
Still our money.
That's right, yeah. So, and those are the things we need to look at. Yeah, I think I mean, if there's federal money available and we can use it to better our city, you'd be a fool not to use it, not to get it. But at the same time, you know, we need to be respectful to that money. I mean, when you come to me, like they did years ago, said we need this 1% sales tax option in 2008 for the help the flood victims, I was all behind it. But you know what? They've used that money for everything other than what they said it was going to go to. A little bit it went to flood, you know, so they can kind of keep face, but the bottom line, it never did. And it's like this 1% sales tax. Listen, I'd go with it too, because and we've talked about it. If we knew it was going to go to streets, legally they can tell you anything they want to tell you. After 30 days, they can do whatever they want to do with that.
And they can guarantee you it'll all go through the streets, minus the federal government. That's Des Moines. Once Des Moines get their cut out of it, then if they can guarantee us that the rest of the money will go for our streets, which that's what they're saying it is, not lying to us again.
You know, a guy I talked to at the Bacon Fest said it was going to the...
We get $11 million a year to go to our streets. They want, so that means if 1 cent sales tax passed, that means we're getting $22 million a year for our streets.
Well, Andy, like I talked about it, if we knew it was going to go there for sure and not get monkeyed with later on.
Exactly.
But we can't trust
But we got to stop them now.
That's right.
Vote no.
Up here. We're gonna, hey, how's it going?
Hey, good.
You wouldn't mind if we took a couple pictures behind you, steps behind you?
Oh, no,
go
go
for it.
ahead. I'll step in if you want.
You want to take pictures of just on a vid?
They do prom shots and stuff right there on the court.
This guy's a photographer. He knows what he's doing. No, are we
working?
Hey, listen, are we in your way? Because we
We'll just
can
be here in a little bit.
If you just slip down just a bit.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we can do that.
But Greg, you were talking about trust now, and he interrupted. Sure enough.
Oh, we can't trust them, and that's how most people feel, you know. But the problem is we just got to get people to quit being complacent and start voting. You know, whether this guy's got $22 million and I got 22 cents, the equalizer is our vote, and it's so sad when people don't use it. I mean, I had so many people complain about Bradstad, speeding Bradstad, and then blaming everybody else for it. But 56% of eligible voters in 2010, when I ran for governor, didn't even vote. You know, when I went to Sioux City and they escorted me out of that building physically, you know, they did. I'm telling you, Frank. And I stood outside with my one sign. The people on the other side for Bradstad, I got talking to them, and they were all paid people for Bradstad. There wasn't any volunteers there. They were all paid, you know. But I had guys coming out of that debate, and they said, you know, I'm not even going to vote. I said, well, they won, because that's exactly where they want you to be. Government spends lots of money trying to make people complacent, thinking your vote doesn't matter. It matters a lot. That's why they spend millions of dollars to make you think that your vote isn't any good. Please vote, man. Please vote. Get friends to vote, you know. Law of large numbers, that's just the bottom line. I mean, the Obama campaign was a great campaign because it got so many people out to vote that never would have voted. You know, they couldn't cheat on the campaign like they did in Florida or wherever. Chad. I mean, everything's so ridiculous, you know. Any ideas how we can boost our campaign?
Definitely need motorcyclists because if the streets aren't safe, you guys all know, it doesn't take much to miss a pothole.
Does anybody want to give me $1 million today? Because we could win. All right, well, you know, you got to ask. You got to ask. I can give you $1 billion white shirt bucks. How about that?
How about giving you $22 million next year?
Yeah. But then I have to get that 1% to get it, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, I don't, listen, no new taxes, guys. And I've had people say, well, when our taxes go down, I can't promise anybody that. But we have to freeze things and make the city live within a budget, you know? And listen, one of the things, I don't think there's anything wrong with letting people know what things are costing. Right now they're doing Cedar Avenue. He'll probably do this, Corbett. We need a sign like Missouri does, you know, hey, this is costing the taxpayers this much money and this is how we paid for it. Well, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Because it is expensive, guys. I mean, fixing roads is not cheap. The problem is when you go to do them wrong. Because to give you an example, my street. You go down Sheridan Drive, that was cracked up. They dug out, ground out the bad stuff, poured new concrete in there. What a beautiful job. They come over to 36th Street, they grind out 2 inches, they put 4 inches of asphalt, which is all broken up, and 6 years later, it's going to have to be redone. Now, I've lived in that house for 47 years. That concrete street was in there before I ever got there. You know, living there with my parents. And so, you know, when you do a temporary fix on it, you know, and my neighbors, I actually tried to file an injunction to get them to stop it. My neighbor, oh, Greg, just let it get over with. You know, I'm so tired of the street being road. I'm okay, whatever. You know, then next good rain we had, I had people coming to my house going, look at my driveway. The water, because there's no curb now. So the water was going underneath their approach pad, shooting out the other side like a water fountain. I said, too late now.
There you have it.
Yeah, too late now. So, you know. Rick, thank you.
I'll see you in a little bit, you know, or next time. There'll be other times.
Perfect. Yeah, and I'll get down and talk to who does display advertising. I want to do something for Bill for sure.
Yeah, is that the end of the month?
Yeah.
Okay. My guess is you'll be in there much sooner talking to the editorial board and doing some other stuff. We'll let you
of the truck.
Oh.
All right. Hey, you're going to be, League of Women Voters is doing a thing next week, right?
Right.
Like Thursday or something, right?
They
Right
put me
across
down
the
as
street.
Mr.
Okay. Here, Bill. Thank you. Frank. Well, you know what? Only with your help.
All right.
That's what we
Now,
do.
I
I'm
don't
gonna
see
sign
you
it,
before
but
then. I'll
I'm not.
see you.
I'm gonna let them know that, you know, I'm a girl.
Well, they didn't look at the picture very well.
They've not. All right. All right. Thanks. See ya.
I believe that people, they think they think, well, I'm American, I have a right to vote. I think it's more than that. I think it's a responsibility. If we can't show these people that are sitting at home doing nothing, you have no reason to complain. If you're not willing to get out and vote, if you're not willing to try to make a difference, then get what you deserve. And I don't know where you're getting into a lot of issues, but the truth is the city of Cedar Rapids has used the flood not to benefit the flood victims. They used it to benefit their contractor friends, their developer friends. You know, I've seen this. Yeah, I've seen this go on, and I've seen. I mean, there are people that were already millionaires or multi-millionaires now as a result of it, and the flood victims. CRST got money, but you know, we got the flood victims. The vast majority of flood victims got little or none compared to what they lost. And just one small example: the flood victims who received down payment assistance were capped at $25,000. That was a number that they come up with. The city council decided. But a non-flood victim this year, 2013, could buy a brand new house, we were the golf course on Zika Avenue, Sugar Creek, and get $37,500 direct subsidy to the buyer of the house. The city council gave Berthel, that owned the land, another $12,000 subsidy because they wanted to get the prices down so they would fit in that $150,000 range that they had to be for the program. They increased the eligibility to 100% of the median income requirements, which means they could get some of their wealthier friends in these houses, because before it was 80%. You know what I'm talking about?
No, you're blowing away with these figures.
All right.
I've never heard of this.
Okay, the city council came up with $35 million of federal money to subsidize the construction of new homes under the pretense that they were going to replace lost homes off the flood. Okay. Well, I got an email from Scott Olson just yesterday, and he flat said they're still building these houses, but he says we're all done helping flood victims. This is all about creating workforce housing. So now I'm going to make it real simple for you. The city council, and I'll try to make it simple. The city council in 2007, Berthel bought 22 acres on Zeke Avenue to build some houses. The neighbors complained, and the board, the development commission, whatever it was, they turned it down. They said the land had water problems on Zeke Avenue.
Yep.
So after the flood, Berthel teams up with High Development.
Oh, yeah.
So High goes back, and High's smarter than Berthel. He knows how to work the system. So he goes back to the city council, and you can check these numbers. I believe they're correct. They don't contact me and give me a number. I believe that the city council authorized $31,000 per lot to Berthel, to High, to help him develop that land that had previously been deemed as shouldn't build on. So if you take 60-some lots at $31,000, that's about $2 million. That's what they first gave him. So then they could have locked my claim. So then the first 20 lots, Skogman and Jim Ernst get to do what are called rent-to-own homes. Okay. Now what does that conjure up to you? Do you think that if somebody lives in a rent-to-own home, they'll someday own that home? Is that what it conjures up?
That's the con.
Okay, all right.
That's the con.
But it's not. They don't ever own those homes. It's called the Iowa Road Program. They never own it. But Ernst and Skogman got $1 million subsidy to build those 20 houses. So now we've given $31,000, and then we give the state give them $50,000 per lot to build those first 20 homes. So there's $80,000 per house for the first 20 homes subsidized. $150,000 homes.
Subsidy. I mean, are you talking about money not paid? They don't have to pay back.
Right. They don't have to pay that.
Yeah, not paid back. That's like Senator Dodd. They paid today in the homeland.
Well, this program ain't done yet. So then now they got the rest of the lots kind of get sold off. But then there's 9 lots. 5 years after flood, there's 9 lots. Gee, what are we going to do with these 9 lots? Well, let's make sure our buddies get some more money. So what they do,
Very He's very
they
smart.
go back. Now,
I think he might
prior
be in
to
your
that,
district.
in order to qualify for a subsidized home in Cedar Rapids, you had to make 80% or less of what the government deems as the minimum required income to support a home. So you had to make 80% of that in order for the city to qualify. Well, that was a problem because the city was running out of low-income people. So they raised it to 100%. So that means that a guy making $60,000 can now get a subsidy. So now, here we got, state says, in order to get that subsidy, the people have to make 100% of the minimum requirement income, and we'll give them 25% or $37,500 free money. Now remember, the flood victim only got $25,000, but they get $37,500. But there was another problem. That the houses were still too expensive to qualify for the subsidies from the state. So what does the city do? They come up with another program, and they give their buddy Berthel $12,000 per lot to subsidize.
Oh, man. Frank.
So then those houses got $80,000 subsidy.
Frank, listen, all I can do is tell you, help me get elected.
Well,
that's all I can do,
you know,
because
you're
if I don't get in there, I can't do crap about it, you know.
Well, you've got some work to do.
Oh, yeah, well, listen, you have no idea how I am working, but anyway.